press news that goes everywhere. The main thing that they wanted to highlight in that whole deal is they were talking about that little lawsuit and all that other dumb shit, and they were like, "Who and Trump has already been found guilty of sexual abuse." You know what I mean? Like they had to highlight that little clip. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing? Why
Right.
why do you have these stupid ass news stations in these small little mom and pop towns that don't buy into any of that bullshit? It makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it's just crazy the way they're doing Trump, man. Because that I mean, hell, did you see the deal where he had I don't know what that golf blisters or whatever, and they tried to say he had syphilis, man. He had some.
I seen it trending on X. I know what they were talking about though. Over some
Yeah,
golf blisters.
I'm like, what the hell is wrong with the media, man? Oh, by the way, we're live. What's going on, everybody? How
Oh,
y'all
we are
doing?
live. Thanks for letting me know, man.
Yeah, we've been live for a few minutes here.
Situational awareness, man. You got to watch the little red square.
No kidding, man. Talking about an ambush. What's going on, y'all?
How's everybody doing in the house, man? I appreciate all y'all showing up this morning, man. We're gonna kind of talk a little bit about some of the stuff we were talking about on Nations Chat a while ago. With some more digital stuff. Hutch usually has some pretty cool insights, and he may not have shit about it. He may just say, "I don't know, I don't give a shit." And that's how we roll over here, man. The we're and one of the main things I really wanted to talk about is all the people coming over the border. These fighting age males. I'm sorry, the women and children, all the women and children that are coming over the border. So
Distressed immigrants, or whatever they
yeah,
call them this week.
yeah. So just real quick, everybody in chat, Bama Jen, Canadian, We're the Resistance. I see my sis Random JL. How you doing? Matt Outdoorsman. What's going on, brother?
Can I
Jason.
just
Matt,
say
what's
that
up?
Dynamite should change the name to M80. You're really not that explosive. I'm just saying.
Oh,
Tactical Wolf, Loretta Hooch, Robert Lynn. Now, I just want to warn people for anybody new that might come up in here. We may or may not talk about you in the chat. I mean, we just kind of roll like that. But we talk
I'm
about
on my
ourselves.
best behavior. I don't know what y'all gonna do, man.
Well, I mean, with a beard like that, I could understand why
Uh,
you probably
Here we go
feel
already.
overpowered.
Starter beard, right? I know, man.
That
Yeah.
is cute. Did you get that from your kitten? Is that what happened?
No, I'm trying hard, man. It's like a 6 o'clock shadow. It's growing out.
uh, anyway, Sophia B, what's happening, my beautiful sister? Tiger, what's happening? Anthony, our homestead, how you doing? Julia, Yankee Watchdog, man, people are texting me over here.
That's because you opened the show with syphilis and golf blisters, dude, and didn't even tell us you were going live.
Well, I mean, y'all get see, and this is going to be discussed right now. In this live stream today about situational awareness. And always being aware of your situation because of all the people coming over the border. So you got to think about that as well. So anyway, Hutch, did you have anything to add to some of the digital shit that we were talking about a while ago?
Not really. I think y'all covered it for the most part. I mean, I threw a couple little comments in here and there, but I'm not a big technology fan. If I had to say and y'all would listen to me, I'd be like, just put it all down. You don't need none of that shit. I mean, it's a fun little toy every once in a while, but you don't really need that shit. So how deep you go down the rabbit hole of getting put on lists and shit is kind of your own responsibility and your own fault. You know what I mean? It's like You're not going to sue a gun manufacturer because you got shot. You're not going to sue the cigarette company because you got lung cancer. At a certain point, you got to take responsibility. Like, I know what I'm signing up to when I want to jump on this little screen for 5-6 hours a fucking day, get on the Facegram or the Instabook and do all this other bullshit. You know what you're signing up for, and if you don't, you're willfully ignorant, and ignorance is not an excuse to get fucked around. So
that's a good point, man. He just destroyed our entire live stream in like 20 seconds because we sat there the entire time. We blame the phone companies, we blame Bill Gates, we blame the WEEF, and he's just straight calling it out. It's people's own stupidity. If they're willing to do it, they're on the hook for it.
It's the same thing about all these people bitching about, oh, society is killing us and we got to do all this and that. Leave it. You're not tied to society. Leave. It's your own stupid morality. Oh, I got to stay because my family's here. Blood don't make you have to be obligated to somebody for the rest of your life. Most of the people who hang out in our chats know that family's going to be the first person to fuck you over. It's not hard to say, like, oh, just because we're related, we got the same blood. I don't owe you shit. You know what I mean? You got to walk away from it. Just walk away from it. The world doesn't owe you shit. You don't owe the world shit. If you think it's that bad, walk away from it. All the what ifs, but I got to do this. Just walk away from it. The excuses are what's holding you back. Government's not fucking you over. You're fucking yourself over from inaction, is how I see it.
I don't disagree with that at all, man. It's really funny. So we have Hutch has a little party thing. It's around his birthday and his harvest, Halloween, all this kind of thing. And we don't tell what happens at the harvest party, only invite only. But the one thing I can talk about from the harvest party is that there were several of us there. We didn't have our phones really, nobody was, we sat around and really it was one of the most relaxing times that I've had this whole year, when you start talking about the, just the quiet, the campfire that we had, the hung out, man, it rained, it was cold, but we didn't mess with our phones, man. I mean, nobody was, once in a while somebody checked their phone, whatever. But it's just I would rather spend that time away from that technology like we did, except for I will say Pot B was there and he brought this big ass speaker that was a Bluetooth deal, and so we were jamming out sometimes and stuff. But
what were y'all listening to? I gotta know, man. What kind of music?
It was kind of a request on the moment thing. The one thing that I do remember is that Hillbilly Homesteader 1776 requested some Michael Jackson in the middle of some raw type shit, and it kind of it made him suspect a little bit. But yeah, that's really the only name of a song that I remember, or a person. Everything else was just kind of new. Grab it as you want to hear it.
It was kind of funny when he went over there and he kind of moonwalked and he was like, hee hee hee. I mean,
Look, man, if somebody is requesting Michael Jackson at y'all's meetup, and this is speculation on my part, and they're up moonwalking, alcohol is involved. There was some alcohol involved at some point, or somebody smoking something.
Was that before the alcohol? I think that was before the moonshine got brought out. I think.
Good Lord, I'd hate to see after.
But
we were probably already 40 pots in by then, I think.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just, yeah, it was a good party, but the whole point of it is the fact of, we didn't sit around on our phones. We actually talked to each other. We visited, and there's a lot of these meetups and stuff that are coming around, and there'll be a lot more of them this year. And I'm telling you, man, if you get a chance to go to these meetups, they're really essential for what's about to happen in this country, to go to these meetups and get to know people, because there's more to going to the meetup than just meeting up, and hanging out for the weekend, because, you have different levels. You know, people live in different states, and you know, people can say what they want to, but you may have to have a fallback location. You know, your particular area may not just be real friendly to you, you know, after it really collapses, because it's going to collapse. Shit is going to collapse. So, you know, having that network of things, you know, of people you can fall back on, and you get to, you know what I'm saying? You can get to know these people more personal, you know, when you actually spend time with them, camping out and you know, cooking breakfast.
Hard to fake who you are when you're stuck with somebody for 3 or 4 days, living in shit conditions. You know what I mean? You see who people really are, and that's how you know if you can trust somebody or not. When you see them in the shit, in a shitty situation, is when you actually know somebody. Because when you're just fake smiling and grins and all this other happy good times, you don't know shit about that person. They're selling you a dream until you've actually been through it with somebody. Where they say, was the military people know what I'm trying to say. What's something shit brings camaraderie or
camaraderie? Yeah, they're kind of like the saying of there's no atheist in a foxhole or some shit like that. They say, you know, whatever kind of thing. But yeah, and you know, like when we were at the party, you know, one of the things I can talk about is the weather. You know, it was cold. It rained, dude. It yeah, nonstop, man. I mean, it was, you know, I slept in my truck, man. I was like, screw that. I ain't putting a tent up. But you know, like a couple of the fellas, you know, they had the tents, they had the cots, you know, with tarps over them. And I mean, dude, it was rainy. It was cold, you know, but we spent that time together and we hung out, dude. And I feel more close to them fellas, you know what I'm saying, as knowing them more than just a screen name or just a face on the screen, you know. So for he who has shed blood with me today shall be my brother. Absolutely, you know, and so
well, it's the same thing as all these people got all these brand new fucking preps that they've got stocked up and hidden in their bunkers or put up in little totes somewhere, never been taken out of the package. They just say, oh, I assume because I'm interested or I geek out on this lifestyle, I'm already going to know that I know how to use this straight out of the gate, even though I haven't tested it to make sure it's not a malfunction product or anything. It's the same with people. If you're actually going to rely on something for your survival, then you need to get out there and work with it and find out the pros and cons, the flaws and the weaknesses, whether it's a tool or whether it's a person, because you're setting yourself up for failure if you're not actually testing your supplies, whether that's tools or people. You have to use them.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing, because you know, I like I said on Nations earlier, I like to say when you prepare your mind properly, things will fall into place, and that is on so many levels. You know, for me, you know, from a God standpoint, you know, preparing your mind for what God says. That's for me personally. But then it also has to do with paying attention to what's going on around you. You know, having your head on a swivel. You know, it don't have to be. I want everybody to understand. I don't sell fear porn. I sell truth. And I don't even sell it. I give it for free. I'm just saying, you know, it's the truth thing of, you know, fear porn is when they go, man, look, if you ain't got this knife right here, you ain't got this thing right here, man, you know, you're not going to make it and shit hits the fan. You know, man, everybody's going to die. We're all going to die. You know what I'm saying? That's that fear porn shit. I don't like that stuff. I just try to tell the truth, man, about what I see. And it's my opinion, you know, but it's real easy if you will look around, you will see that it ain't women and children that are coming over the border. There's some, but do you, in the chat, just real quick, what country do you think the people coming over the border, the most of them are coming from? And for y'all on the panel, what country do you think the most people coming
think
over the border?
I think it's China right now, and I think that's what should be worrying people, because that's not an easy trip. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they're walking across the border of China and into Mexico. So
But
there's
see,
some
I'm
logistics there that are getting these people put into this position. It's not like Mexico has a huge Chinese population by default. They're getting there somehow, and most of them seem to be 20 something age men.
are there pictures of Asiatic folk coming across? Because everything I've seen is pretty much like South American, like Guatemala and maybe kind of stuff. But I don't
Well,
know if I actually noticed any Asiatics.
well, believe it or not, Backcountry Preps, he went live the other night, and I was watching him, and he lives in California, and he lives down by the border,
Arizona, I think.
or
Maybe
Arizona.
Arizona. Yeah.
Well, no, I think he's in California, and he's building a
He
homestead
might
in
be, man. He might
yeah,
be. He's
building
close
a,
to the border.
yeah, he's building a homestead in Arizona, a getaway location. But anyway, regardless of, he's down by the border, and he said it's nothing but Chinese. He said it's hard. You hardly see a Middle Eastern or a Mexican. There's a few Mexican people coming across the board. San Diego, Warlord says, okay, yeah. So yeah, and that's what I'm saying, man. There is. So when I looked up the other day, I try to look it up real quick, but um
I
the
would say that is one of the things that I get complacent on is we all get stuck on looking at Texas and we forget that there's still California, Arizona, and New Mexico where this shit's happening too. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I guess I am limiting myself, but I try not to look at it. I like to keep my blood pressure down. If I get it too involved and go down the rabbit hole, I'm cussing folks. I'm not getting shit done around here. You know what I mean?
right. I don't remember where I saw the deal, the layout. But man, I'm telling you, like China, like the people coming across the border from what countries, and China was like double or triple to number two, and it's insane, dude. And that's the one that ought to bother you the most, is the fact that these Chinese people, man, the CCP and all these people are fighting age men, dude. And it's not like these people are freaking, like women and children. That crap you see on mainstream media and the women and children. Oh my God,
That's propaganda.
that's
101, man.
propaganda.
They're gonna
And
put the saddest looking face on TV that they can for sympathy.
and you can thank Obama for that, because he's the one who took away the Smith-Mundt Act, I believe is the one, and it's news media is nothing but propaganda anymore.
A lot of people look at the Chinese right now. That's just the newest thing, but this has been going on for so long. Like, some people think they're a bunch of Middle Eastern people coming over, and honestly, they're already here. They've been here. We're seeing the protests and stuff like this now. The anti-Israel protests and all this stuff. These people have been here, but now China. Now we've got this influx of Chinese coming in.
Well, see, that's one of those things you've heard for a long time is that, the Chinese come over by the hundreds of thousands because of the triad, the whole smuggling thing. I mean, look at San Francisco, Chinatown. You know what I mean? That's 100,000, if not a couple million Chinese people that just self-isolate and don't want any part of American culture right there. Like how many thousands of people in that little, secluded area are ready to burn this country down and are just waiting for the phone call.
Yeah. It's weird to me why somebody would want to come to this country and then self-isolate. Like, why'd you come to the country in the first place?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And that's the whole thing. And a question for the panel: do you train in your equipment either alone or with your mag? Well, I tell you, for me, because I am actually in a mag, and We train with our equipment. It's pretty much required to bring your equipment with you, all your equipment. And we even when we do our calisthenics, running, whatever, jumping jacks, hopping around on one foot, whatever it may be, we have to wear them. And there's actually been several times that, like when I go out and do yard work, I'll wear my plate carrier and stuff, to practice on that balance, like I'll doing garden work or whatever. And I know it looks kind of strange. And my neighbors, it's really funny. My neighbors don't talk to me a whole lot. They're like, Mr. Billy and stuff, they talk to me and I'm like, hell, yeah. Mad Shad, what's up, buddy? And so, yeah, but the thing about the people coming over the border, man, people just Hutch, you say it best, the Google search,
If you got a Google, it's worth a Google.
Yeah, exactly. So if you Google search, you can and just start looking at people right, yeah. People just don't mess around here in the neighborhood. I don't know why, man. It's a pretty safe neighborhood, but no, real talk, it's that whole thing of, if you look on the Googles and stuff and you go over there and look up images from people coming across the border, dude, and it's insane. It's actually harder to find women and children than you think it is.
Trains, man. I've seen video of trains coming in where people are just packed out on these trains. And
Right.
I'm sure there are a few women and children on there, but not a majority of them are not. Majority of them are younger than we are. Who knows what they may not have any kind of military training, but we don't know. That's part of the vetting process that they're skipping.
Did you guys see the short with the? I believe he said he was an Egyptian man, and they had his face blurred, and he was talking about he himself was military, and the majority of people that he was walking with or traveling with, he said they were all in some kind of capacity military trained in their own country in some kind of capacity.
Yeah, we had one of them pro-Palestine insurrections at the White House the other day where they were trying to tear down the fence and they were throwing stuff at the police. Yeah, but anyway, there's pictures going around of one of the people there, and they had on not like camo type gear, but like some green like military looking outfit, and on the back of the sleeve right here, it was an Iranian guard offshoot, militia patch, and it was a fighting age man. They were saying that he was, I forgot what the police call it, but it's kind of like a spot and stalk thing, for the hunters out there, to kind of, Mad Shad, he's in there. He may know what it's called, but it's something they do when they go and surveil, and there's a certain name for it, and I can't remember what it is, but these people are here, man. That's the problem, and people need to wake up and understand that these people are here. Trump himself in New Hampshire, I think it was last night, he said flat out, he said, you can do, he said, with all these people coming across the border, he said, you can do it in a percentage. And he said, I can tell you 100%, y'all are going to see a very large scale terrorist attack in this country soon, very soon. And area recon, yeah, it was actually a different word that they used, but POTB, but it's the same thing. It's basically a recon mission, and the guy was taking all kinds of pictures And like I said, he had it's an offshoot. They showed the patch, and they compared it to
a scout, pretty much.
Yeah, a scout. Yeah, and that's what he was doing was scouting the White House and all the people going on over here. And y'all people, look, like I said, I don't sell fear porn. I'm not trying to scare nobody. Don't be scared.
I'm scared, Backwoods.
Be prepared. And so, I'm sorry, but with the lack of beardness and you being scared, but I've got to take you off the panel, man. I can't do that.
Oh man, look, I was waiting for you to get done with the old man ramble here. I was going to bring up a comment from like 5 minutes ago from Matt Outdoorsman that said it's a joke to believe that nothing is going to pop off very soon because of this invasion. Yeah. It's to the point where it is kind of a joke that people believe that this is America from 1970 and things are just smooth sailing. Between all the protests, whatever nationality these people are that are coming across the board, it's ridiculous. The gun grabs that they're trying to pull off, the blatant cheating in elections. I mean, it's got to pop off soon, right?
Well, you got to understand too. It's not just the fact of them trying to take the guns away from you. Now they've introduced a bill to where they want to try to make it illegal to have a militia. To train, it could be just simply that you guys are going to get together for a fucking barbecue. You're going over there. You got your wife and kids there. Everybody's having a barbecue, drinking a few beers. You shoot a couple of guns and everything. If these Karen ass neighbors that we have in all of our areas, all of us have them. They're sellouts. They call in and say, hey, these guys are over here. It looks like they're training like some type of militia. The next thing you know, the FBI is busting down your gate, coming in the backyard going, hey, what the hell's going on here, man? Y'all are training. We've got a law against militias. We've got a law against this.
And don't want militias around, but at the same time, they're quick to point to that a well-regulated militia. It's got to be well-regulated. Otherwise, you can't have firearms, but also we don't want militias around.
And y'all remember like 2 years ago, was it New Mexico or Arizona, that Muslim group that just squatted on the guy's property and built a trailer fortress and was out there militarizing children and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
He was out there, 8-9 months before anything was actually done. And then whenever it was reported, they couldn't do anything to him. You know what I mean? So as somebody who is actively stealing land from somebody, and militarizing children to hate this country, they couldn't do nothing. But if you, as an American patriot, want to go out in the woods with your buddies and climb some rope and do some drills, you're automatically a terrorist.
Yeah, and seeing that's what I'm saying, dude. We've got, and by the way, I seen something a while ago, and they have pictures just before the continuing resolution yesterday, just so everybody understands this, kicking the can down the road kind of thing. They ain't fixing shit in the government, okay? They ain't fixing shit. But there was a Ukrainian soldier in soldier gear, and he went on the members only elevator and went in there in front of the Congress and spoke to them behind closed doors, and then they did the continuing resolution. Ukrainian soldier in our capital in military gear going in to speak to our Congress.
It's ridiculous. You were telling me that before we went live, and I was telling you, people accuse me of all kinds of stuff, man. You're pro-Russian because you don't want to support the Ukrainian war. And I was telling you, I don't care who wins that war, honestly. I don't. It has nothing to do with me. I'm tired of seeing our money sent over there. But we're supposed to care about all of these other places and all of these rights being taken away by all of these other nations. Where were all of these people at when we lived through the pandemic and our rights got stripped away? You know what I'm saying? And they were trying to force mandates and stuff. There were no protests in Palestine. There were no protests in Ukraine or Russia, you know, trying to stand up for us, man. They were just strip mining our rights, and nobody cared. But these other countries don't send us money, and I don't know why we have to be on the hook to pay to liberate Ukraine or Israel or anybody else, Palestine. It's ridiculous.
They guilted half the country into feeling like, oh, you know, the whole white guilt thing. You're overprivileged Americans. You don't need all this. Give to the rest of the world so they can catch up. They sold half the country that dream. So just with that small amount of people, they can willy-nilly spend our money any way they want to. We talked about this last night a little bit on Native's deal, and if Trump does win, he gets in, he starts implementing, okay, we're gonna shut down these immigrant skyrise hotels now. You don't think that there's going to be a shit ton of these Antifas out there that are strapped up with ARs and AKs ready to have these shootouts with the police? These skyscrapers, these cities, these school buildings, all these things that they've kicked citizens out for to turn into immigrant hotels, those are going to be active war zones. Those are going to be like Chaz and Chop 2.0. I mean, there will be bodies that fall as soon as they start trying to get those immigrants and take them back.
I mean, they've been kicking kids out of schools. They've been kicking vets out of hotels and stuff to put these people up. And I don't know why we sit around and allow it. As Americans, I just don't get that part of it, you know?
Well, we're not uncomfortable enough. That's the problem. See, and I want to share something with y'all real quick. I'm going to share this screen just to prove to y'all what the kind of bullshit that is going on. And y'all just hear this out for just a minute.
Watch. No more money for you. You want it. No more money for you. Bye. Go back across the door. No more money for you. It's lazy. You lazy. No more money for you. Take your podcast.
That was in Chicago. That was illegal immigrants, and these folks were in there protesting against these illegal immigrants, and they were standing there telling them, "No more money for you."
See, we talked about this a while back. Remember, that's going to be the easiest way. That's why they're keeping them separate. There are armed guards separating the civilians from these illegal towers because they don't want the interaction. Because we speculated that as soon as they're bringing them over on the bus, they're already implanting, you know, demoralizing stories and just downgrading the people that they're about to be replacing. You know what I mean? So if you move a whole bunch of people who don't know the culture, don't know the area, don't know shit about this country to this random place, and you say, we're moving you here because the people who are here are trash and they didn't care about the government and they were lazy and they're killing the system, so we're bringing you guys in to help get the job done. You know what I mean? You're implanting that sense of, oh, I'm already better than you, that they had to outsource me to replace you. You know what I mean? They're creating that division, and they're keeping them isolated and just feeding them that propaganda bullshit. That way they hate each other. That's what's going to kick it off. That's going to be the excuse for the government to step in, is when the civilians actually stand up and react to all the illegals. That's what they're going to call it a hate crime. That's what they're going to say it's a mental disorder. We need martial law, because it's literally going to be towns with 10,000 people are going to have bodies on the streets because these immigrants.
Or like you were saying, if Trump gets back in office and he actually starts doing what he says he's going to do about, you know, the illegal problem, it's going to be almost instantaneous. It's going to kick off, I think.
Joshua, I really appreciate that. It says nothing will happen until we have nothing left to lose. And seeing that's the sad part about it is you know, Hutch and I know Native and them, you know, and myself, a lot of us have talked about this multiple times. Nation, I think you've actually talked about some of this stuff as well, is the fact that, you know, it's really a shame that we have to be thrown down in the mud and kicked in the damn teeth and lose our teeth and get up and you know, it's 10 degrees outside and you freeze to death before we'll do something. you know, and it's really a damn shame, man. And Joshua, thank you. I really appreciate that.
I was
But
on
yeah.
X this morning, man. The two things that were trending on X this morning, all of the stuff going on in the world, NFL football and the new iPhone goggles. That's the two things people are talking about in this country. It's ridiculous.
I try not to get too caught up with today's headlines because I'm still pissed off and ready to burn it all down from 3 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's the news cycle. It's hit and miss. They want to get you pissed off about this and then throw something else at you to get you pissed off about this. Like you were pissed off at so many things going on at so many different times that you know what I mean? It just seems like it's an overwhelming obstacle. You're fighting this giant beast, but it's really, the government is small. The government is super tiny. It's a couple thousand people. The border can be protected. You know what I mean? As soon as the people realize, and we get that mentality, have gun will travel, and understand that being a patriot doesn't mean, oh, I'm going to wait till it gets to my doorstep. It means I'm going to go out and defend my fucking country, not just my yard. You know what I mean? That's when you get into patriot shit. When you're ready to step up before it gets to your neighbor's house. That's patriot shit, because you're trying to save the concept, the idea of what you're living. If you wait till it gets to your doorstep, it's too late. You're useless. Your excuses, you know, cost you your fucking life. At a certain point, people got to stand up and be like, no, I know it's happening in California. Fuck California, but maybe we need to do something. You know what I mean? That time has to come. Either you defend the whole country or you split the country. There can't be no in between. You know what I mean?
I agree with that. What say you, nation?
I agree. People are saying they don't keep up with the news and stuff in chat. What I was talking about on X, though, or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, these two things were trending because that's what everybody's talking about. This wasn't mainstream media. For anybody that doesn't have X, these are the two most talked about things today. When I woke up this morning by folks in the United States, the goggles that you wear on your face from iPhone or Apple or whatever, and NFL football. You know what I mean? It's like there's so many people that either don't care or are just totally asleep that it just happens. I mean, this stuff is happening to us because people either don't care or they're absolutely asleep at the wheel.
Well, and that's the whole thing. See what Dove J is talking about, you know, with having the banks watch for certain things being purchased, you know, MAGA, anything to do with MAGA, anything to do with Bass Pro Shops. What was the other one? Was
Bible sales.
Bible sales. You know, if you're buying a Bible, you know, why the hell is the FBI or the DOJ? Why are they looking into this, man? You know what I'm saying? I mean, we all know why, but you see what I'm saying, and you know, it still comes down to, you know, the government, and it's all goes back to the surveillance state of what we were talking about earlier on Prepper Nation's stream earlier, and that's the whole thing, man. Is that it's this whole ordeal of what they're trying to do to us. And I mean, people need to wake up. It's so easy to see if you just pay attention to what's going on. It's so easy to see. Joshua, thank you.
I don't think they're going to wake up, though. To Hutch's point earlier in the live stream, at some point, it's people's fault. You know what I mean? This is the same FBI that was investigating people that were at, you know, parents' meetings at schools and stuff 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Nobody did anything about it. Very few people stood up and actually said, what's going on here? Most people just turned the other way because it's more convenient to turn the other way and pretend like it's not happening. So here we are 2 years later. Now they're tracking people that are buying Bibles and going into Bass Pro Shops. Where are we going to be 2 years from now? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, we saw it with Obama when he audited every Tea Party member. Didn't nobody do a damn thing. Blatant disregard for the Constitution. Nobody cared.
Shame.
We've let them get away with so much that at a certain point we've kind of set the societal standard that, yeah, we'll take some shit. You know what I mean? Like we'll take some abuse. It's fine. You know what I mean? I mean, it comes all the way back to our founding fathers started that shit over 2%. 2% tax. We are at 47% average. You know what I mean? It makes no sense.
A little bit off the wall here, but how much of the pandemic and the stuff that was laid on us, or that they tried to lay on us during the pandemic, how much of that do you think was the government trying to figure out how far they could push people? How much
Oh,
people would
100%.
tolerate?
100%. 100%. Absolutely no doubt about it. 100%. Look, the government, because I believe it was the CIA that come up with the term conspiracy theory. See, and that's what they like to use, the word conspiracy theory, so that whenever whenever you say something that's true and the government looks and they go, oh shit, they've got this figured out. Man, that's a conspiracy theory. That's a nut job over there. That's one of them right-wing MAGA nut job conspiracy theorists. You don't believe nothing they say, but yet
He's got syphilis hands.
Yeah, he's got syphilis hands,
Throw that in there, man.
and look, the dude can't even grow a beard right, man. And I mean, hell, it's but really and truly, when you sit and look at it, and people will believe that shit. People are like, oh man, fucking Rachel Madcow fucking said, this and that. Now, well, the government's saying, Nancy Pelosi stood up there and said that's not true. And then you turn around and wait a day or two and then go ask them same people, hey, do you trust the government? Oh, no, I don't trust the government. Well, just a couple of days ago, you were saying that I was a nut job because you believed what the government said. What part of this can you not understand here, people? You know what I'm saying?
Here's why I asked y'all that question, and people in chat were saying 100%, and I agree. But the thing is, back during the pandemic, people were snitching on each other because they weren't wearing masks. You know what I'm saying? They would go up to the Walmart manager, hey, this person. So if everybody knows it's 100%, Mad Outdoorsman, I think, says it's a no-brainer. Why do we expect people to stand up now? What's changed? People are still lemmings. You know what I'm saying?
It gets worse and worse, and there's less and less reaction. Most Americans think that standing outside on a sidewalk holding signs is going to save this fucking country. But those are the ones who are going to be fodder in casualties when it comes to the actual get down. Remember, like 3%. You know what I mean? 3% is all that we're going for. Just like back in the day. Remember how many of those people who were still loyal to the king? You know what I mean? They had to go around certain areas because they were still loyalists in the country. It's just a part of the game. You know what I mean? There's going to be civilian casualty because sheep need to get slaughtered every once in a while just to get them out of the fucking way. Plain and simple. That's the way I see it. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing, and it's just, God dang, man. People, I'm begging y'all to wake up and pay attention to what's going on. I hate the news too, man. I really do, because it's kind of like Hutch said earlier. When I sometimes I get to watching the news, man, and I get pissed, man. I get fired up. It like really affects my whole day. But sometimes it's necessary to understand what is coming. You can't, it's kind of like if you've got a spare tire in your vehicle and you don't know how to change the tire. Well, it's not a lot of good if you don't know how to put the damn tire on. You know what I'm saying? So you're everybody's real quick to be a prepper and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, but if you don't pay attention to what's going on, you don't even know what the hell's coming. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be ready for what's coming. What's going on, Red Dawn? How you doing, buddy? And so you got to understand that you got to be prepared for what is coming mentally in order to be able to effectively carry out what needs to be carried out. These are going to be things that, we could go into a whole nother show on what's going on, what to do after shit hits the fan, after it's a bad scenario, martial law. There are so many of these things, last night, Native Voice, had a show Hutch was on, and Prepper Tribe, and they were speaking about, Hutch, you can speak on this some, if you don't care, with after, let's say a martial law, or after a Mad Max type scenario, whatever you want to call it, prisons, things like that, people don't take this shit into consideration, so if you want to speak on that a little bit, or
about the complacency of, well, it's basically the people who are homeless and people who are felons, ex-cons, actually did some kind of time. They are used to living in the shit. They're used to living in the environment, doing what you have to do to get shit done. You know what I mean? And they are way more comfortable with the nomadic travel. You know what I mean? If they have to stay in the trees for 5 months, there's no issue. Their life does not have to change a single bit. Us, as preppers and homesteaders, we've got walls and ceilings and electricity, and we've got these comforts. And we say that we don't really have to take our stuff out and use it. We don't have to go camping because I live this lifestyle. No, you don't. You live in a shelter. You know what I mean? So just because you live in the country doesn't mean that you're really as prepared as you think you are. You get real complacent when you're surrounded by a box all day. You know what I mean? That's comfortable with climate control. You get real complacent with exactly how much you can do and how much you can take, as opposed to the people that you're so willing to say, I'm Rambo, I'm going to kill them all if they come here. Most of them can outlast you, plain and simple, because they do it every day. You do it as a hobby. You know what I mean?
How inconvenient things can be. And I agree with you, man. I'm spoiled on certain things. I'm sitting here drinking coffee and it took 10 seconds to make it. You know what I'm saying? Just something that small, having to build a fire, having to boil the water, inconvenient, you know?
Well, and that's what I'm saying. There are so many channels out there that show you how to do this, show you how to do that, talk about what's going to happen and everything. But, we like to dig deeper into it and get more realistic and point these things out that, just like that with what you're saying, Nation, with the coffee deal, you go in there and push a button. Hell, in fact, they got the automatic ones. You just put the timer on and you got a fresh cup of coffee when you wake up. Well, that shit don't happen when, necessarily when shit hits the fan, for instance, and you also have to understand something. When you cook food or even coffee, tell me when you get somewhere near someone cooking or coffee that you can't smell that. That smell travels a whole lot further than you think it does. And not to mention the fact that, well, a hungry belly can smell food and shit like that for a long ways off, man. So you have to take these things into consideration. There may be only certain times that you can cook food, because of the smells and everything, to get away with it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't think there ain't going to be marauders out there, bro,
that's another misconception that I think people don't understand, man. As much as we'll put down people that live in cities for being soft or whatever, when that time comes and people begin to spill out of cities, they're coming to rural America. I know a lot of people say they're not coming here. They're going to overflow in people's backyards and their neighborhoods and stuff. And I don't know if a lot of people understand how many people are going to be coming.
Yeah, see, and I mean, it's like they're saying, be prepared to be uncomfortable. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. It's more than what you understand. There's my buddy. What's going on, Waterwell? It's a local feller. The best thing you can do is disconnect from their system. If you still rely on the government, no amount of protesting or 1776 stuff will do a thing, because they have you by the balls, and absolutely, and that's what I'm saying, and I wanted to touch on the deal with what I had up there a minute ago about Texas, the border, and the federal government. You know, the Texas has taken over the park down there, you know, Eagle Pass, and they've kicked the federal government out, and the federal government gave them till yesterday or day before yesterday or something, you know, to let them have access again, and Texas told them to fuck off, you know, just like, we ain't doing it. So I don't know how true it is, but apparently I've seen 2 or 3 different places where they said Joe Biden was caught on a hot mic saying he would send F-15s down there. You know, and you think about it, Joe Biden was real quick to let us know in this country, you know, about militias and stuff. And if you think you're going to fight the federal government, we got F-15s. So he's real quick to do that. And so, you know, for you two guys and anybody in the chat, you know, y'all can put y'all's thoughts in the chat. There is, what do you think actually is going to happen from this? Could this be the moment that kicks everything off? Because, you know, does Texas back down? Because if Texas backs down at this point, man, I mean, you know what I'm saying? And then at the same time, if the federal government, because I did hear that Joe Biden was sending National Guard down there. So it's going to be National Guard against National Guard. I know Arkansas has sent National Guard there. I think Missouri is. I think Florida is. There's some states starting to send National Guard down there. Now, this is something, in my personal opinion, that I think we need to really keep an eye on. And so what's you guys' opinion on it?
I will say that the other day, my son got a text when I was taking him to work that said, be on standby for the next 48 hours for incoming messages, because you might get deployed somewhere in the country. He got that text the other day when I was taking him to work.
And so just real quick to clear it up, your son was in what branch?
National Guard.
Okay, he's in the National Guard. Okay. Nation.
So me personally, I think if Texas doesn't back down, this could be the moment where we see it start to fall apart. You know, we start to see states saying, hey, we can go with Texas and all this stuff. If they back down, we're screwed. Because if Texas isn't willing to stand up and hold their ground on this, man, there ain't much hope. If I was the governor of Texas, not only would I not back down, I would get on TV and I would encourage all the local sheriffs to start deputizing people. Deputize them left and right, help us watch the border, this sort of thing. You know?
Clarify, not National Guard, Reserve. I apologize.
Reserve. Oh, okay.
He's a reservist, not a National Guard.
Okay, so my son got an order to muster a few months ago, just updating their information is what he was told. Yeah, and so yes, I'm 100%. You know, I'm from Arkansas, and so, you know, Arkansas and Texas has always kind of had a little rivalry, you know, with football and things like that, and, you know, yada yada. But hey, when it comes to our Constitution, when it comes to our rights, when it comes to our borders, and when it comes to states' rights, I'm with Texas 1,000%. I'm 100,000% there. I stand with Texas on this.
I hope that Texas holds their ground and calls the government's bluff, because our government loves war, but they like it abroad. I don't think they want something like that in the United States right now.
Well, see, and this right here, I want to clarify this right now. Yes, Mayhem and I are he's our CO. We do have a group, and I want to clarify that in order for a militia group from Arkansas to come to Texas, we have to be, dude, look, I'm gonna say right now, moderators, get rid of this fucking pedophile out of my fucking chat.
Who?
This pedophile bitch right here. You're a fucking kid toucher, you pedophile bitch. Get this motherfucker out of my chat.
Get hit by a bus, pussy.
Fucking pedophile.
Kid toucher, documented, proof.
Documented proof.
Self-admitted, piece of shit.
Fuck that motherfucker, man. So anyway, yes, you have to be invited. You have to be invited to, you know, like if you're in a group, don't just run to Texas and start doing shit, okay? Because you are not actually doing it legally, okay? Yeah, don't and so man, I'm sorry, dude, but god dang, man, man, these motherfuckers need that shit is rampant in this country, man. And that's another thing that we're gonna fucking handle this business with these fucking kid touching pieces of shit. Sorry.
Oh, man.
I'm getting the shakes, man.
Call them out as you see them, people. That is unacceptable on any level. They do not deserve to breathe your oxygen. Plain and fucking simple.
They're not just going to hand the rights back to the states. It's going to have to be fought for.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're going to have to. You got to understand. Look. The federal government is not going to give over power. Okay, they are not going to get it. I can't even fucking talk now, man. One of y'all take it for a minute.
They're not in the business of giving people things, you know.
Right. Name one thing the government's ever taken and given back, with the exception of your own money for income tax. You know what I mean? That's what I'm hoping and praying. Like, my fingers and toes are crossed that this stuff with Texas is going to be not necessarily the shot across the bow, but the part in the history books where they say this is where the states chose up before the Civil War, before the Revolution. Those who stand
a lot
with
of
Texas,
other states.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of other states are watching Texas, man.
I'm hoping that's what it turns out to be. Let this be finally, we're picking teams. You know what I mean? It's like Texas is like, okay, we'll take Missouri. California's like, we'll take New York. Texas is like, we'll take Arkansas. You know what I mean? Let's pick it and get this shit over with. Let's see.
Yeah, I did, Dynamite. He was asking, where do we see this going? I think it depends on Texas, and I think, you know, will Abbott back down, or is he going to hold his ground on this? Because I think a lot of other states are watching. I think a lot of constitutionalists within these states, patriots, are watching. It's a lot easier for people to stand up, speak their piece with a rifle in their hand when you have states governors doing the same thing, you know. But if states governors back down, man, you're pretty much on your own, and they just paint you as a J6er at that point.
Because, I mean, realistically, if for those of you who are wanting the Civil War or the Revolution, it's not going to be the civilians that act first. It's going to be the politicians against the politicians. This is how it starts. We don't get free reign to be our malicious selves, free, God-loving Americans, until the politicians are ready to kill each other. You know what I mean? So, like, this is one of those little stepping stones. We're like, we're seeing it. We're seeing it. You know what I mean? It's exciting stuff. Scary. I'll give you that. It's going to suck. Most people are going to die or get injured in some kind of way, but we're living history right now.
I first off, thank you. I really appreciate this, but I love the name General Nutsacks. I fucking love it, man. Proud Texan here. Brandon can have the clips. And for those of y'all that may not understand what that means, well, you just do some education, man. Just saying.
There's that word again, education.
Oh yeah, man.
Some
we
of
got
that higher schooling.
Man, we got some high school education around this place, boy. I'm gonna tell you what, that dang old thing, man, over there, old dang old people. I tell you what, man, old federal government, man, we just click, click, boom. Yeah,
I
you
agree
can't.
100%, but that doesn't mean that voting is a useless tool to have in your arsenal, because local still matters. If your city council's right, if your mayor's right, a lot of that shit's not going to affect you as fast as it affects other people. So while this is a true statement, voting local still matters. You know, there's still a purpose to it. It's not the only tool, but it is a tool.
Yeah, I'm sure there's many Texans out there that are ready to fucking fight and bug out. I can tell you that, you know, there's a lot of people around you that's got your back too, around state wise. A lot of people are ready to do, you know, it, you know. So my whole point on this is that it's really and truly it's something we really need to pay attention to on this thing going on down in Texas, because this is a breaking moment. I think, you know, to see where exactly we're at in this game, man. Because if Texas backs down, man, I'm telling you, dude, that's going to be a bad deal, man. It's really
Let me
going to.
just say this, man, not to interrupt you, but
No, go ahead.
if Texas can just stand their ground until we have an election, can you imagine if they're holding their ground and we get Donald Trump as president? And now you have the federal government, at least at the executive branch, backing up Abbott and company down south. Then things might get done, you know, at a government level first. But then again, you know, if they back down, let's say they back down and we end up with Michelle Obama in office, we're screwed, bro. At that point, we're done. We're toast. We can't take 4 more years of people piling in at these rates, man.
What they describe it, somebody on the news, again, Associated Press, stupid, overrated news station. I don't know why any small town has it on their radio stations, but that's what they were talking about. I want to say they said 30 something, more than the state of Ohio since Obama's been president, just for accounted illegal immigration. So Ohio's a pretty big state. So break that down to smaller states. That's a Massachusetts, a Rhode Island, a Missouri. You know what I mean? Like, there's a good 7 or 8 states worth of population that has come into this country illegally. They want to confuse you and be like, oh, you know, compare it to one big state, when you're like, that's a pretty decent sized state. It doesn't take much to change the districts in voting just by adding 50, 60 immigrants in this small town here, or 200 immigrants in this small county over here. It's real easy to change congressional districts just by placing a small handful of community people who shouldn't be there. I mean, like, we're infiltrated on every single level, and that's why everybody wants to fight the federal government. They're the ones that's going to come kill you. Okay, well, when you're fighting the federal government, you got to remember that if your city council backs that federal government, then your entire town is an active war zone for you. You are the enemy. You know what I mean? So it's, make sure your local shit is right before you try to take on the big feds. You know what I mean?
Sheriff especially, man. Sheriff, big time. Constitutional sheriff or constable, I think it's called in New Orleans, Louisiana or something. But sheriff, because once they're elected in, man, it's really hard to recall them. It's not like the mayor can step in, or even the state government. They can't step in and remove them.
Oh, Jesus.
Right.
Yeah, and see, Hutch, you actually brought that to point the other day about the as many people, like, you know, breaking it down by county wise and such. You care to touch on that?
I can't remember the exact details.
The amount of people coming over and the amount of people you have in your county, how quickly they could take over.
Oh yeah, like I'll use rescue as an example because I don't know the exact numbers in my county, but he said in his county he's got 50,000 people. This is a county in Texas, so 50,000 people in this one county. Statistically, only about 30% of those people are going to vote. You know what I mean? So that takes your number down significantly. So as far as governance and rezoning districts for congressional points and all this other shit, it all depends on how many different demographics you can get and how many people are in that area that are actively voting. Being a registered voter don't mean shit. It's based on who's actively voting is how they divvy up the money and figure out how they want to spend shit. So if you've got 30% of a 50,000 population county is all that votes, all they have to do is bring in a small amount, because chances are all those local elections are usually within 5,000-6,000 votes.
Yes.
You bring a couple people, sway that vote a little bit more, it's not hard to completely rezone a district and be like, oh, we're Democrat now. Next thing you know, your whole county's taken over because you couldn't go down there to vote for your coroners and your judges and your prosecutors. It's
Right.
really, they tell you, there's clips of them telling you that this is what they're doing, but we're still not getting out there and voting local because voting doesn't matter. I don't know.
Real quick, hey, Nation, you text me. You said you got to go meet the wife.
Dude, I appreciate you having me on over
Oh,
here, though,
absolutely.
brother. And Hutch, brush that beard of yours.
Hey, don't hate me because you ain't me. You know?
Brush it out, man. I appreciate it, y'all.
Appreciate you, Nation, man. Thank you. So yeah, man. So that's the whole thing, is that, you know. So what Hutch is trying to say basically is when you break down the number of people that are coming across the border and all the different counties that they are going into, you have to understand, first off, they are putting these people on the census. Okay. And so when they put these people on the census, then they're able to get more electoral votes, more representatives for that particular state. You see what I'm saying? They get more power, more authority. And so you've got that. And then the fact of, like I said, you got some little county like mine, we've got 17,000 people in our county, you know, and let's say you get 5,000-6,000 people coming into this county, because we do have a lot of area, you know what I'm saying? It's a pretty spread out county. You get that, and then the next thing you know, man, you've got basically these illegals that are voting against you, because they're paying these people money. If you don't think they ain't telling them to go vote and how to vote, you know, now in my particular state, you have to show a photo ID. And so, you know, this is why photo IDs need to come back. But if you are in a state that you don't have to have a photo ID to vote, you got to understand the implications of these people coming across the border and what they can do. You know, how they can change or just root in, you know, anchor in these corrupt Democrats. Because, you know, or these, hell, even corrupt Republicans, because a bunch of them son bitches are corrupt too. You know, they're politicians, man. That's what they do. They're corrupt. You know, yeah. Has 19,000 people. I mean, you know, that's what I'm saying, dude. I mean, you could turn around, and before you know it, all of a sudden you've got 25,000 or 30,000 people. And like Hutch said a while ago, if you get people that ain't voting, you know, people that just don't go vote, the next thing you know, hey, Mama Red, how's it going? The next thing you know, man, all of a sudden you're getting outvoted here. And you know, Jerry Nadler, old shitty pants Nadler, he flat said when he got called out about it, he tried to lie like they always do. And he said, they called him out and said, hey man, you know, you're trying to replace voters. And they're like, no, that's you know, that's not what we're doing. He goes, really? Well, here's a bill right here from New York that y'all are wanting to allow these illegals to vote. And he goes, Well, that's just in local elections, not on a federal level.
That's how it starts. Set the
But
precedent. Oh, this state's been doing it for so long. They did the same thing with weed. Oh, it's just state stuff. Well, state stuff's going to turn into federal stuff real quick.
Right. Right. So, you know, when you turn around and you look at this and you go, the great replacement theory ain't such a conspiracy theory after all.
Right.
You know, they're putting it in your fucking face, man.
I'll say everybody do an experiment and look up, Google your county and the voter statistics of your county. Look at the what's the gap by how much you're the Democrat versus the Republican lost in city council, all this shit. Find out what the average number is of actual voters in your county, and then see how much you would need to offset that either way, and just look at it like that. Like, oh, okay, there was 200 votes that separated these two candidates. Literally a couple busloads of people in a day. You wouldn't even know they're there for months. Literally offsets the entire election process, because all they have to do is just average out the votes. Simple. It's like it's genius, really. It's pretty fucking smart. I'm sick right now. I'm blurry.
John, don't make no mistake, man. It ain't got nothing to do with birth rate. I mean, it does in a way, but if you think about it, think about how they pushed abortion. Think about how they pushed this, and they tore down the nuclear family. So therefore, then you're not having the babies, that you normally do. These big families and stuff, and then it's all part of their plan to replace us as voters and as being the majority of people, Americans, because they want all these people coming across, and so it make no mistake, they're bringing them here for voting, and they're giving them gun rights. By the way, I watched a lady the other day, her and her husband on this big gun store, and she come on and she's like, hey, they're changing the law. The feds are, which is really kind of funny that it's not going through Congress, because Congress damn sure don't want their name on this. And this is another thing we need to get with, is these fucking 3-letter agencies need to be reined in. They don't make laws, but they do, and so anyway, yeah, they changed it on when you buy a gun. This lady was explaining it and said illegals can now buy guns. Why is that? But they're steadily trying to take them away from us, but they're going to allow them to buy guns. And if you think about it, how the hell does an illegal go in and buy a gun, period? Because they don't have a driver's license. They don't have any of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? They can track me down, but they can't track an illegal down that bought a gun.
Right.
So when they go to try to let's say confiscate guns, well, they know who to go to, but they're not going to be confiscating from the illegals or the criminals, because you see what I'm saying?
It's all pre-planned. Communism is the long game, and they play on your feelings because they know feelings are instant right now. We want to get mad at this right now. That's how they get us, man. That's how they get us.
Illegals can get driver's license. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. They're wanting to put them on the damn police force. And where is it? Chicago? I think Illinois.
Illinois and California so far.
Yeah, they're wanting to put these people on the damn police force, man. Angela B, how you doing, sis? I mean, they're wanting to put these damn people on the damn police force. They're giving them guns. Can you imagine an illegal alien that can't even hardly fucking speak English pulling you over and saying, hey, by the way, I want to check and make sure you ain't got no illegal guns or drugs in your car. Step out.
That's exactly what they want. Because when you attack that person, that sets the standard. If you attacked a peace officer, which automatically gives you a higher jail time, it automatically makes you a felon. So you can't buy a gun, you can't join a militia, you can't do any of the shit that you thought you could do as a free American. Once you get that criminal label, you'll see how quick a lot of your opportunities disappear. And that's all they need to do, is to just hype you up enough to do something stupid, whether it's justified or not, so they can get you and they can put you on that list and they can start restricting what you can and can't do.
Yeah, speaking of Deutsch, I know, right? I mean, that's what I'm saying, man. This is a whole bunch of BS, and people better wake up, man. Like I said, I'm not trying to fearmonger nobody, man. I'm simply trying to explain what is really going on out there, right under our noses, man. Our forefathers saw this. They gave us the tools. Our forefathers would have been shooting people a long fucking time ago, man. I'm just telling you. I mean,
we sold those fucking tools for McDonald's and goddamn Panera Breads and Walmarts and Kmarts and billboards and shit. We sold every one of them fucking tools because we thought somebody else could take care of us more efficiently than we could take care of ourselves. We're only 100 years removed from a majority of this country living the home style life, you know, the homesteader life. But yet it's so far removed that it seems like it never happened in the history of this country, because we are fed so much bullshit so fast, so much all the fucking time, you know, that we literally forgot who we are as the human species. We can't take care of ourselves. What the fuck? Like, we are a poor example for existence in the whole history of ever. You know what I mean? You're so spoiled that you literally can't feed or water yourself. You know what I mean? Because there's no bottle that it's sitting in. It's disgusting. If this is evolution, we fucked it up somewhere. You know what I mean? It makes no sense.
I want to touch on that for a second, but just real quick. By the way, this is my opinion, and Hutch he's got his own opinions on things. I don't, we haven't actually talked about this a whole lot between me and him, just in a general conversation. But I'm going to tell you, there is not any time whatsoever between the time the sperm enters the egg and the woman becomes pregnant that's not a human being. It's not a clump of cells. It's not a fetus. It's not they can make up all the fucking words they want to. It is a human being. There is never in the history that I've ever known of that anything has ever come from there except for a human being, period. So I just want to make sure that I'm very clear on my stance on that. The next thing is this right here. Colorado healthcare workers are being given the Ebola vaccine. Wow.
Colorado has an international airport, right?
Yes.
So you can have a flight coming from all kinds of different countries, direct flight to Colorado.
Yes.
So that seems like something that should be implemented, you would think, especially with the insurgence of all these illegals coming in by plane, bus, boat, raft. Who knows what kind of crazy shit they're fucking bringing with them. And if we got people coming from African nations, chances are somebody's about to catch the malaria. It's bound to happen. It's bound to happen. It's not like they're very efficient in how they pack. All it's going to take is one person to bring over a fucking banana spider. You know what I mean? Next thing you know, it's loose in a Legoland somewhere. Got a whole new outbreak pandemic of some random jungle shit.
Yeah, and see, and that's another thing that people need to think about this. We've got how many are they saying now that's come across the border? Are they estimating
35 mil.
35 million? Jesus Christ, man! How many of them people's been vaccinated and had all their proper, vaccinations or whatever? What kind of fucking strange diseases are they bringing across the border that we don't even know about? See, there was there's a thing, when you go over into other countries, you're supposed to get certain vaccinations and stuff depending on what country you go to, because, well, there's different things that happen in different places, and so all these people are coming across the border. Who knows what the hell they're bringing across, and not to mention that, we talk about disease X and bioweapons and things like that. What makes you think that for their God, that they wouldn't inject themselves with something that's highly contagious and super deadly within 2 weeks, and they come across the border and they start spreading it around?
See, that's what scares me the most. We talked about this a little bit a while back. The chemical warfare. Every country that hates America right now has killed their own people in some kind of way with illegal chemical warfare. What the fuck do you think they're going to do to us? That's the thing that scares me the most, because you cannot protect against a drone full of anthrax, or, you know what I mean? Like some suicide bomber doesn't want to put on the TNT and decides to eject himself with Ebola and just go around hugging motherfuckers. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that's the thing that scares me absolutely the most, is the chemical warfare, because between sarin gas, anthrax, Ebola, fucking COVID, all these different lab manufactured things and all these natural things that are coming into this country, it is more scary than actually having to stand toe to toe with somebody and just empty clips at each other. I'm more scared of the bugs that we have no idea what the fuck they are, that are about to be flying around this country. It scares the shit out of me. What are you gonna do? How are you gonna protect yourself against that shit?
Well, and don't forget about, I don't know if a lot of people know about this, but Bill Gates has been releasing millions of mosquitoes yearly.
Yeah.
What the hell is in them mosquitoes, man? The man stood up on TED Talks, Bill Gates, and said that the planet is overpopulated and we needed to reduce the amount of people that are on the planet, and we can do that by vaccines. That's what the man said.
Right.
I mean, damn, these people are telling you to your face what they want to do. But the problem is people don't pay attention to this. And then when someone like me says, hey, this is what's going on, they go, oh man, you don't know what you're talking about. You're crazy. You're a conspiracy theorist. Well, I don't know. And
look at it like this. You know why Bill Gates is so boring and no character, no charisma, no nothing, just a piece of shit reading a script? Is because the people that want to believe it are going to listen to it no matter how it's presented. Us trying to find the truth, we don't want to sit here and listen to this VCR fucking manual lecture. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this is too boring. I don't want to waste my time with this. And we move on, and we just overlook everything just because of the way it's presented or who it's presented by, when they're literally telling us, hey, we're going to kill you in this amount of time, and this is how we're going to do it. But you'll never know, because oh, this guy's fucking boring. I don't want to listen to this for 12 minutes. You know what I mean? That's the problem with information, man. There's too much out there to choose from.
Right. And see, that's the thing, Hutch, is that people need to understand, in order to fight an enemy, you must understand the enemy. The enemy, the we, I don't like listening to them fucking people either, but I do, because I want to know what they're thinking, because they come out and tell you. They come out and tell you what they're going to do. I know it's boring. I know it sucks. I know people are like, I don't want to listen to that crap. I'd rather watch the football game, or I'd rather watch, the new episode of Lone Survivor, or,
These are literally the people who are guiding the direction of the planet.
Yes.
But you would rather watch trash TV, you know what I mean, than
Yes.
find out who's trying to actively kill you. It makes no sense.
You know what's so funny about it? When you watch trash TV, pay attention to the commercials that are on, because most of them are from Pfizer and BlackRock and shit like that, you know. And you may not know it's BlackRock, you know, but just go and look at the companies that BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street own, and
companies, right?
Oh yeah, it's really crazy. But some of the biggest commercials contributors to your mainstream media is Pfizer. Do y'all trust Pfizer? Because I don't. And
that's actually like every commercial I see now is some kind of AIDS commercial, or some kind of, like, even the damn, what's the patches and shit you get on your skin, the rough ashy patches and shit with the dead skin. Y'all know what I'm talking about. This psoriasis. Yeah. Even the damn psoriasis commercials is got some fucking trannies getting married. I'm like, oh look, I can show my shoulders on my wedding day. Like, what the fuck kind of shit is that?
I know, right?
Like, it's everywhere. Like, that shit is not that commonplace to where it literally has to be represented in 100% of fucking entertainment or social media. You know what I mean? It's fucking everywhere.
Yeah, see, and that's what I'm saying. You know, this J9. This goes back to what we were talking about earlier about how you know, we saw in during the COVID that neighbors will tell on each other. Man, they feel some kind of sense of worth, you know, by running over there. Hey, look, that guy's got a 3%er tattoo, or hey, look, that guy's got. It offends me. Yeah, well, fuck your feelings. How about that? You know, your rights do not begin where mine end, because my rights don't end. I have the right to have a fucking 3% tattoo, or wear a 3% hat, or a MAGA hat, or I've got the right to buy a fucking Bible, and I've got a right to shop at Bass Pro Shops, and y'all can all kiss my ass.
Yeah.
You know, how about that? You know, these entitled son of a bitches here in this country think that they can just run around and point fingers at people and go, oh, that offends me. Yeah, well, dude, it's time to get back in these people's spaces. Dude, there was something that was so cool the other day, and there's a fighter in the UFC, MMA fighter, and this he made a comment about some LGBTQ shit, and so they got up and questioned him about it. Dude, I'm telling you right now, he was like, bro, he goes, you're the enemy. Like he was like, this dude right here, this is the enemy of the nation. And they asked him about Bud Light, man, and I mean, he pretty much told them like it was, man. This is what we've got to start doing. We've got to start standing up. See, I've said before, I don't like being labeled a conservative, because conservatism is man, you sit back, oh, we need to take the high road. Well, see, the problem with that is, and thank you for the super chat, man. Whoever, thank you so much. I don't want to misgender you. You know, I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. but no, really though, you know, dude, we have got to stop being nice and taking the high road, because see, you know, the real problem with this is that they're not taking the high road. We are being worked into communism and socialism every single day, every single minute. The time that we've been on here, I guarantee you, there are people out there right now working on taking more of your rights away and making it more and more communist, socialist, because it all ties in together. You know, you got the socialists, the communists, but it all ties together. They all basically do the same thing, man. So it's time to get back in these people's faces. It's time to, yes, Mockingbird, Mockingjay, stop being pussies, people. Stand up to these people's face, man. Punch them motherfuckers' lights out. You know what? Jail ain't that bad. I've been there.
It really ain't.
And they can only hold you for so long for knocking someone's teeth out.
Like 3%er prepper set up there. It's not so much that they're fighting us or trying to get us to like it. They're doing all this shit because they want our kids. Once we're gone, they've literally got an entire generation that will easily fall in line. There's some good kids out there. You know what I mean? The Crocs kid, if y'all don't know him, the youngster, good people. My son, you know what I mean? There's a couple stand up youngsters in this next generation, but they are getting outnumbered so bad by all these little prostitutes and all these little stupid ass simp sons of bitches who want to just go along to get along. You know what I mean? We are the last line of defense to save our children, because if it comes to them having to fight this war that we're hoping we get to, they're going to lose because they're going to be outnumbered so fucking bad. And we see how fast shit moves in 2 years, in 3 years, just since the 2020. We see how literally quick things can move. Imagine how in 15 years, imagine what it would be like gone unchecked. You know what I mean? It's up to us to stop this, because if we leave it to our children, it's going to be too late, because they are outnumbered and they will continue to be outnumbered.
Yeah. So, Jay, misgender me, laugh out loud. Let me help you out, backwoods, straight white, Christian conservative. All right. Owning a 1911 shooting body armor wearing man motherfucker. Amen, brother. Amen. Amen. And that's what I'm saying. You know, there's so many names, honestly, out there, though. You got to understand, and thank you again for the super chat, man. You got to understand, there's a lot of people out there, man, that have names, and you're like, man, I'm not sure if this is a female or a male, you know, and you're over there, yeah, brother, thank you, you know, and they're like, oh, by the way, I'm a female. It's like, shit, you know, so you know.
I just ask now, are you a dude or a chick?
Right, yeah, exactly, you know. So anyway, y'all, we've been on here an hour and 30 minutes. I know Hutch has got stuff to do. I have some stuff I got to go get done. I got to go to the liquor store, man. It's Friday night, man. I mean, a feller's got to sit back tonight and be able to pass, have a cigar, and have a little mixed drink, man. You know what I'm saying?
See, that's the difference. A fella should be able to at night. A man doesn't whenever he feels like it. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Well, you know, I still have younger children, you know, at home and wife that, you know, we have certain things. I never know, man. My wife will be like, you know, hey, by the way, you know, you need to, can you run up here and do this? Shit, I can't. I'm drinking, you know. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I kind of gotta wait till a certain time of the day. Does that mean Hutch will be going live later? No,
I don't even have a channel.
Y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all, I really appreciate everyone showing up today. I'm gonna start doing these lives more often. I've got some videos coming out, Hutch, over here. If you don't mind to mod or two in there to drop Hutch's channel and to drop my channel link so people know where to find me.
Right.
No, if you drop Hutch's channel link. And by the way, I don't have one on at the time because I just grabbed something and because I've got covered up. But we have a fella out there, Ghost. He was in the chat a little bit ago, and I'm gonna tell you right now, he makes shirts. You can get with him. You can email him. It's ghostdesigns.shop. You can email him, and he's got all kinds of stuff you can do on these shirts and everything. They're really good quality shirts. To be honest with you, they really are. My work shirts are by Ghost Designs, and he can fix you up and he can hook you up. Hutch has well, I'll let you tell him, Hutch. You got some interviews and stuff with
Monday, 6 o'clock Central PM for at least the next month and a half, 2 months. It's all set for premieres. Check it out. Get to know some other creators. If you like them, cool. That's one thing. Like we like to let people know about other people, but if you don't like somebody, don't feel obligated to sub. If you don't like me, don't sub to me, because you're just gonna waste time for everybody. You know what I mean? We're just here to introduce you to other people. If you like them, invest some time in them. If you don't, oh well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and yeah, we thank you, Prepping Artist. I sure do appreciate that. Thank you so much. Prepping Artist is another one that has live streams every Thursday at, I believe it's 6 o'clock Central. I believe. Is it 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock? It's 6 o'clock Central. So just want to say, thank y'all again so much. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna do more of these. Y'all come hang out with us, man. Do not simp sub for us at all. If you don't like my content, don't sub to me, and don't do it just because someone told you. Hutch, I know I can speak for him. He just said it basically, but don't simp sub, man. Like real talk. Look at the content, look at the person, and if you like what you see, sub up, hang out with us. If you don't, we appreciate the look anyway. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way we like it. We speak truth, man. I promise you. So I appreciate it, everybody. Man, y'all keep y'all's head on a swivel. I'm telling you, the shit is real. It's out there. The shit could kick off at any moment, anytime, anywhere that you're at. Be prepared. Don't be scared. Just prepare yourselves, man, and go about your daily life. Just pay attention. You were supposed to go, yeah. All right, y'all. Peace out. Y'all have a great day. Have a great weekend, man. We'll see you on the next one.